What's up everybody? Joe Pascal here at JoeTheProAthlete.com, and I'm here today in my house. We're going to go over a core activation series that you can even do in your home. You can do this anywhere, but I recommend it as part of your dynamic warm-up in the gym before every workout that you do. It's going to help you out with hip activation, activating some of the muscles that tend to be tonic or turned off when you sit around a lot in an office or drive around a lot in your car. It's also going to get some core activation going and really help you out with overall strength and athleticism. So it's really simple. It should take you about 10 minutes and not really be too taxing. You're going to start on all fours with your knees directly under your hips and your hands directly under your shoulders, parallel, running on railroad tracks, so your hands shouldn't be outside or inside of your knees. I want good posture, natural arch in my low back, abs activated. And the first move is a hydrant. I'm going to press into the ground and try not to bend my arms or move my body too much, and just lift one leg as if I'm a dog peeing on a fire hydrant. We'll do about 8 each side. And move into the next series. The next movement in the series is a hip circle, and we're going to have the same starting position, and I'll show you how to do the movement in a second, but we're going to work to go through our full range of motion that we possess now, and not necessarily to extend range of motion. This isn't so much about mobility as it is muscle activation. So I start here. I'm going to extend my leg straight back, bring it around in a circle in that full range of motion that I possess now, and back into extension and another circle. You'll have to work to press your arms into the ground and keep them extended to keep a stable torso so that you're not going to dip or swing around. And those are hip circles. So then next in the series is a scorpion. From that same 4-point starting stance, I'm going to lift my heel directly to the ceiling, keeping my toes dorsiflexed or pointed up towards my shins. If you need to look back and check yourself once or twice, make sure that your heel is going straight up to the sky and not back behind you or up towards your head. Still pushing my hands into the ground, keeping a strong, stable torso, no dipping or swaying. Give it a good contraction of your glutes at the top. 8 each side, the same as every exercise in this series. Okay, we're going to do 8 all the way through. Okay, I'm not being lazy, but the next part of the series you're going to lay on your side and we're going to get your adductors firing. I want you to be all the way straight from the top of your head down to your ankles. So my shoulders, hips, knees, and ankles should all be in a straight line. A lot of times you'll think that you're straight, but your feet are still out in front of you a little bit. So really check yourself. Make sure that your hips are fully extended. I kind of lay my head on my arm, and I'm going to take this top leg and just pull it over top to get it out of the way, and lay it wherever you feel comfortable. I'm going to dorsiflex my toes up towards my shins, lead with my heel, and just lift this straight leg off of the ground. 8 each side, and we'll move on to the next part of the series. The last part of the series from the 4-point stance is a side swing, and you're just going to start by sticking your legs straight back, and your toes will naturally kind of rotate out just because you get a little bit more range of motion that way, but we're just going to maintain that strong torso, press into the ground, and swing that straight leg around as far as you can. Don't worry about range of motion at first. Remember, this is mostly muscle activation and not so much mobility work, though we are going to gain mobility by doing these exercises. Eight each side, and move on to the next part of the series. Next, I'm going to be on my back. My legs are going to be fully extended with my toes again dorsiflexed. I'm going to leave one leg straight on the ground, press my back into the ground, and lift one leg as high as I can while keeping that knee straight. As soon as I would have to bend that knee to go higher, I'm done. So only keeping my knees straight, go as high as you can. My hamstrings are really tight right now, so you might be able to get a little bit higher than me. 8 each side, move along. Next is going to be simple side bridging. So again, full extension. I want to make sure that my shoulders and hips, knees, ankles all line up. Elbow directly under my shoulder, and then I'm just going to extend my hips all the way. If that's easy for you, then you can extend into a starfish position and hold there. Either way, you get a choice in this case. Maybe start with the simpler one and progress from there. Hold for 30 seconds, 60 seconds, 90 seconds, whatever is challenging for you, and then move on to the next part in the series. Of course, repeat on both sides. Next is a plank variation. I'm going to have you actually plank with your palms rotated up. We'll start at the standard plank position and then lift our butt straight to the sky. Stand on the balls of my feet. Slowly back down to your starting position and stop. Back up. Make sure you go straight up and down. Tendency can be to go back and forth instead of up and down. So let's do 8 and move on to the next part in the series. Okay, this very last move in the series takes a little bit of shoulder flexibility and a little bit of strength. It's going to be a reverse plank. I want you to have your toes dorsiflexed again, pointed up towards your shins. I want you to keep your head neutral, like you're looking straight ahead and not ever tucking your chin or looking way up behind you. Post your hands behind you as if you're going to bridge. And I'm going to lift my hips all the way up until they're slightly hyperextended and hold there. If that's easy for you, the progression is to start lifting one leg and then the other. If you forget to point those toes up towards your shins and you let them point the other way, it's going to be way easier and you're not going to get the muscle activation that we're looking for. So I want you to point those toes up towards your shins and really go for it. And that's the end of this core activation series. I actually learned this from Lauren Landau in Colorado Springs at the NSCA's clinic for strength and conditioning on combat sports. He's a really world-class guy. Shane Carwin is actually one of his clients who, if you remember, fought Brock Lesnar a couple of years ago for the UFC heavyweight title. Shane said that this series made a bigger difference than any other exercise or series of exercises that he experienced for strength and conditioning in his whole career. So if you can start working this into your warm-up, or even you see in your home a couple of days a week, it'll really make a difference for you.